time around. Yeah. Okay. It's good to be back again here, everyone. How are you doing? How are your businesses? For those of us in Lagos, we know that, I hope you're keeping safe. There's a bit of unsafe acts out there. I've been seeing some videos on social media with videos of unrest along Mile 2 and the like. So for those in Lagos, please stay safe. Ensure your staff members are equally safe as well. Okay, so welcome to another session. This is one session that I'm really passionate about. I mean, given my profession and what I do for a living. The more reason why I'm even passionate is because for me, human resource management is critical for the success or sustainability of any business. And for us as women to continue to lead and succeed in our businesses, it's important to have the right human capital process structure in place. I hope you're all enjoying the Revup Women Initiative. How has it been so far? I know it's been a lot of information, but how has the sessions been so far? How's it been so far, everyone? Thanks, Candy. Glad to be here again. It's been okay. Daniel, thank you. Yes, Revup Initiative has been amazing. Thank you, Candy, for that. Fantastic. Okay, educative and informative. Koforola Revup Women. Fantastic. It's reviving for me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's good to know. It's good to know that we're all having a ball here, learning together as women. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So great facilitators, Rashida. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. So today, like I said, we're going to be discussing the people element part of our businesses. And not just discussing people elements, but in terms of what is the right framework that we should have for our business when it comes to human resource management. We have about an hour and a half. It's really a broad topic, but as much as possible, I'm going to try to streamline it to ensure that it speaks to all our various people needs. Okay, so today, I'm not sure we need any form of introduction again because of time. And more so, we've all been learning together in the last couple of, days. So it's okay that we skip the introduction. The class will be about an hour. Please feel free to drop in questions as I go through the session. I really would love it to be interactive. So that way we are addressing your people-related issues as they come up. Okay. Today, what do we aim to achieve together? First is, how do you even find, the right talent for your business? One of the major challenge we have is high unemployment rates. In addition to the fact that unemployment rate is high, it's even more worrisome that we have unemployable. So it's different. You can't hire, but it's not even unemployable. You are just not employable. That's another challenge on its own. So how do we address such issues? We look at the place of culture in our organization, our various businesses. What is the role and implication for having the positive workplace culture? When you talk about culture, how can you even have the right culture? You have staffs that they are stealing from you. You have staff that are not honest with you. You have staff that are not taking initiative. We are working with some people that if you don't shout, they cannot hear you. And yet we are talking about positive workplace culture. How is that possible? So you have stuff that drives you insane sometimes or most times, and yet we are still talking about positive workplace culture. You go through a lot of challenges and issues, and at the end of the day, the people here even trying to save your business and work for, they are ruining down your business. And yet we are still talking about positive workplace culture. How is that possible? I don't know. Am I asking the right questions here? Am I speaking the mind of someone? Please put a response in the chat box. Let me know if I'm speaking the right situation that applies to your business when it comes to people. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Betsy Kende. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. Yes. And that's the honest truth. It's so difficult. And that is the reality that we face. Today, we'll look at how we can address that together. And we want to motivate and retain people. You will invest in some people. You will train them, train them, train them. One day they'll wake up and say they are going. After all the training and the investment, after putting you through I'm just trying to relate now. After putting them through all your business process, training them to understand how your business works, and then they say they are going 1 month. Some will not even give you notice period, and that's the honest truth. So what can you do to retain employees? In addition to that as well, how do you provide opportunity for professional growth as well? And that's one big thing. And how do you conduct performance evaluation feedback? So these are big, big issues that we face when it comes to people management. Today, we'll have conversations from an HR perspective in terms of what we can do. All right. Okay. Okay. So first question, please put in the chat box, what does your business do? What are you into? What does your business do? Put it in the chat box. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm reading your comments. Adedeji Bukola, we're into manufacturing and supply of ready to wear. Okay. Olapeju bookkeeping firm, fantastic. Aisha, fashion embellishment and tools for fashion artisans. If we provide services and products centered around educating parents on child nutrition, fantastic. Ifedayo, fintech saving app, awesome. One TTPC, I believe that's the name of your company, is equipping undergraduates and recent graduates with employable skills and finding them internship placement. Okay, we're an inclusion platform that provides digital financial services for unbanked and micro. Fantastic. We provide spices. Awesome. 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 Design and production of leather, handbags, and accessories for B2C and B2B. Make Africa. Oh, fantastic. Great business ideas. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. And that's it. That takes me to thanks, Blessing. Thanks, Atineka Smith. I can read all your comments. Thank you. Blessing, we exist to empower women with business opportunity in clean energy. Awesome. At Tineke, we manufacture and supply unisex ready-to-wear clothing to boutiques and departmental store. Awesome. Ellen Joseph, to meet the medical personnel apparels, providing medical wears and prevent infection. Thank you. So it's important that I also start from understanding why our business exists. Because from all the responses everyone gave, our businesses exist to meet a demand. And that demand is based on what people want, customers. In the market, there's imbalance of what people want and availability. Now, your business have identified this business opportunity and you're providing it a solution because there's a friction in the market, there's imbalance. And your role, the role that your organization play is to supply or to produce or to provide a solution to a demand. Now, that is every business exists to solve a problem, even NGOs. Every business exists to meet a demand in the market. Every business exists to supply a form of solution to the market. All right? So at the bottom of that existence, at the bottom of that existence, you have people in different dimensions. People in terms of your customers, the people you are solving for, they are people. And then you also have people to work with to meet the demands of the market. But you don't just want anyhow people, you want talents. So if you can see on the screen, you don't want just anyhow people, you want talents. You want good people. You want people who can make your organization thrive. You want people. So I would like to put in the chat box, what is the idea of the kind of talent that you want for your organization? What's your idea of the kind of talent you want for your organization? Please put in the chat box. Okay. What's the kind of talent? What's the kind of talent you want for your organization? You must have an idea, I guess, as business owners. Fantastic. Smart, compassionate. I love that. Thanks, Blessing. People who are trainable, trainability, creativity, awesome. Dedicated. Okay? If you say dedicated, forward thinking, and independent. Okay? Let's see, because we work with children, we are looking at tech-oriented individuals. Okay? COHORT1, people who are creative, innovative, and ready to learn the doing, have to be professional. That's where I come in. Yeah. Proactive, fast thinkers, take initiatives, compassionate, creative. People that are loyal and consistent. Thanks, Helen, for that. Kindly. Passion, open-minded, and motivated individuals. More you're innovative with attention to detail, with sense of urgency, and empathetic. Ifedayo, people who can think on their feet, innovate, and motivated. Awesome. So, I mean, reading, Atunika, thank you. Your comment reads a very good, skilled, innovative, proactive operations manager who can manage the business on a day-to-day activity so that I can totally free to find the market. Fantastic. I mean, we're all clear in terms of the picture of the kind of talents we're looking for our organization. In case skilled marketer, online and physical, also farming enthusiasts. Yes. I'm reading through all the feedback that we've received. I've not seen anyone that written school stats, SSC, 2-1, 2-2. Nobody has indicated, nobody has indicated, oh, must go to Harvard graduates. I didn't see Harvard graduates here. Nobody has indicated Harvard graduates. You don't want to hire Harvard graduates. Sorry, I was just joking. My point is the kind of talent, I don't need anyone with degree. I can't But I can't do English. I like it. Just do the work and make the money. Yes, bro. I don't have strength. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Ah, Peju was Harvard graduate. That's fantastic. That said, Adedeji Bukola, you nailed it. Certificate is good, but we need talent. We need practicality. Thank you so much, Adedeji Bukola. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That is what every one of you on this call, that's what you're all seeking. You're seeking practicability, core talents, somebody who will give results. And for that to happen, you're clear what you want. Somebody who is smart, who can think, who can take initiative, with who is hardworking. That is what you need. Forget the grammar. Sabi ticket to certificate. Yes, somebody who sabi do the work. Somebody who fit sabi do the work and deliver. That's what we want. And those kind of people, yes. And those kind of people is where HR management role, sabi expert, yes. That is where HR management role comes into play. Because as business leaders and owners on this call, you understand the role that people management play. You understand the role that human resource management play for your organization, because that is what enables your company to thrive from one generation to another. So people role is crucial. I had to do that exercise so that we can all, be on the same page. So let me ask you all a question. What is the most important asset in your organization? What is it? What's the most important asset in your organization? Like people, my customers. Okay. Koforola, production and packaging. Who will do the production and packaging now? Madam Koforola. Who will do it? Who will do it? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes, you all are spot on. People, the greatest asset any organization has is its people, and that's the honest truth. Yes, your customers might be your asset because they give you money, but you need people to bring them back, to retain your customers, to serve your customers. You need people to serve your customers, and that's the honest truth. Okay? Thank you so much. I mean, I'm happy that everyone understands the place of people as an asset, not a thing and not a liability. Yes, people can become a liability, no doubt, but people remain the most asset of any organization. And if truly people remain the most assets of any organization, right? Are we getting the best of people in our organization? So I'd just like to ask, please ignore the revenue. Just what's your staff? How many people do you have working with you? Ignore the revenue. I don't want your revenue. How many people do you have? How many staff? How many employees do you have in your organization? How many? Please go ahead and share. 1855. Wow, blessing, that's large. Okay, 84. Okay, fantastic. 7 plus yourself. Thank you. Net, 1 net, 3. Good. 5 full staff, 4 depending on workload. Fantastic. Okay. 4, 5 years. Okay. 15. Okay. Require 33. Wow. You men are doing awesome here. Thank you. Okay. I did 2 employees, 8 contracts, and that's 10 in total. Thank you. Okay. Richard, 17, Helen, 10, Demisala. Okay. Fantastic. So Ify, fantastic, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Full-time interns, volunteers. Okay. It's okay. How many? What's the total Okay, that's 65. Fantastic. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So we all have people working with us in our organization. And I believe that everyone of course aspires to grow their organization as their revenue and as their business grows and expand. Fantastic. So let's get to the next level. What frustrates you most about your people? I mean, I've seen all the numbers, but let me find out from you. What frustrates you most about your human resource? They are not patient. Excuses. Thank you, Adane and Betty. Okay, what else? Meeting deadline. Yes, excuses. Oh, okay, okay. Lack of proactiveness. Okay, okay. Others, what frustrates you? Lackadaisical attitude. They don't like working. Everybody's looking for the easy way out. Yeah. Okay. Inconsistency. Okay. Lack of sense of responsibility. While some delayed salary. Okay. Okay. Not taking prescribed instruction. Okay. Anyone else? You want to share? What's the biggest frustration you're having with your teams? Not following instruction. I believe they don't like free hand. Okay. Okay. Slow adaptation to change. Lack of independence and not taking initiative, impatience, nonchalant attitude. Fantastic. Awesome. Honestly, ownership, own responsibility. I think I don't have to follow my full staff, only the ones who are not full staff. Okay. So those ones that are not full staff, what is the problem you're having with them? It will be good to share for our learning, collective learning. Okay. Honestly, you guys are all spot on because even though we say people, they're always tired. I mean, even if they are tired, if your tired is tired, when you come to say, Madam, I'm tired, even if my tired is tired, you can just imagine family issues for us. Oh, okay, so thank you, everyone. Are you all right? You've all highlighted some of the issues that are particular to people. Honestly, as easy as it is to say that people are the greatest assets, it's also true to say that people are the most complex being you can work with. And that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. But that's the reality we face as business owners, especially in this country, Nigeria. Whether your business is making money or not, they want their salary at the end of the month. They don't care. And they don't even bother, they don't bother how their work helps the business to make money. They're not worried about it. I mean, how does your work help me make money? You're not doing your job, which is not making money to come. End of the month, you want to collect salary. Okay, just pay me. Yes, Betty, that's it. Thanks, Azuka. I tried not to override my production manager's decision so it was quite annoying that they didn't have a plan to get products out by 9 a.m. yesterday. Yeah. So that's lack of planning, lack of initiative, and taking responsibility, thinking ahead. People issues are big issues for our businesses. So imagine if you have to, like someone said, go and look for business and at the same time still manage the organization. However, for us women, I always say to people that women are better managers, and that's the honest truth. We are better managers because God gives us that natural ability to be able to do so many things almost at the same time, be able to manage multiple activities happening at the same time. God has given us that ability as women. So it's a plus for us. Yes, I want to say my biggest challenge, yes, I can relate with all your challenges because, I mean, as an HR leader, I've worked several businesses. The good thing is the challenges you face as small businesses, we big businesses also have it in multiple folds. Yes, we also have it in multiple folds. Yes. Okay, I have relatively dedicated staff for now. Thank you. Thank you. And I like that highlighting for now because you know that people move, people come, things will change. Okay. Yes. If it's one of the biggest challenges, having to micromanage your staff and still think for your business. I'm imagining big business trouble. Betty, don't let's go there. Don't let's go there. Hmm. Don't even let's go there. I remember there was a time I was chatting with some of my HR professionals, HR leaders, and we were talking about HR, the problems that we face. One of my friends shared that the biggest problem she has faced in HR was there was a day she was at work, and then a strange woman came to the office and dropped a baby in the office and said her staff got her impregnated and has refused to father the child. So she brought the baby to the office. So imagine if you come to work. Imagine you came to work and then you're now having baby issues to deal. When they were doing it, you were not there. HR, see baby, your staff got me pregnant. She now brought your whole baby to the office and dropped it and was creating scene. So people issues are complex issue, true but not funny. I mean, that's just on a lighter note, just to let us know that these people matter. We are all in it together. And that's the honest truth. However, there's a way around it. Okay? There's a way around it. And the fundamental is very important. The fundamental, which is why I'm starting from the fundamental. So if you look at this screen, my homework is on my now. Wow, let's see. So if you look at the screen, okay? If you look at the screen, right? The bottom of the screen is that's like the seed, just like a seed that is growing and expanding. So the bottom of the seed, when it comes to people management, HR management, where do we start from? There's just so much happening up there. But where is the foundation for HR management? Where do we start from? Where is that? Where do we get it right from? The foundation. Where is the seed of having the right HR management system? I say to people, it starts from the business vision. It starts from the reason why your business exists. It starts from the plans you put in place for your business. Okay? It starts from your growth strategy. How do you intend to grow your business? It starts from your model. What's the kind of structure that you have for your business? That is where the foundation starts from. Your business vision. I realize that a lot of business owners, they keep their business vision on their mind and on their head. And when you meet clients, you speak your vision to your clients. But the people that you hire, the people who work with you every day, you don't speak the vision to them. They don't know. They just know their role title. They know what the business sells. They know what they are supposed to do, and they move on. They are not even aware of why does your business exist. They know what it does. That's different things. They know what it does. Let me use my company as an example. What we do is we produce food and animal feed. That's what we do. That's what we do as a company in farming. Why do we exist is different. Why we exist is we want to feed the nation every day. There are two different things. What your business does and why your business exists. When people understand that I work in an organization that is focused on feeding people every day, and they need me to make that happen. Okay? Yes, thank you. So a lot of business owners, we don't communicate our business vision regularly. We need to communicate regularly till it gets here. So it's not about all the core values we put and the reason for the business existence, the vision why the business exists. Even your cleaners should know why your business exists. It's not just pasting it on the wall. No, communicating. In fact, we in my organization, when we hire you, we share the business vision with you. And then we ask people, how do you think, what's your view about this vision? That's number one. Number two, we ask them, how do you see yourself as part of this vision? What's your role? Guys, we need to get people to become emotionally vested in our business. Because when I asked earlier, what are we all looking out for? We all said, we talked about the behavior, initiative, smart, those soft skills. Those are the things we spoke about. I didn't say any certificate, no degree, but that's a hard on. So we need to learn to start vesting in their minds. Let's take, for instance, somebody is like a marketer. Somebody sells online, or one of your marketing team, right? And his role is to sell a certain number of products or services and then return on investment or whatsoever. You should ask that person, how does this job you are doing from the point of bringing meaning to life, why are you doing this job? Oh, I'm doing it to make money and to keep ends meet. Okay. If making money and keeping ends meet is what is important, if making money and keeping ends meet is what is important, how does that affect what you do on a daily basis? Why do you come to the workplace? Okay. So it's really, really important. I'd like to ask us here, do we have such engagements with our team members? Maybe randomly once in a while. Yes or no? Just no. Thank you, Kende, for your openness. Thank you, Aisha. Yes, I do. Yes, recently. Okay, after me, thank you. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Yes, you do, but not consistently. But for yes, okay, thank you. All right, so it's an opportunity for every one of us. For those who do it, because they're doing more regularly, is a foundation for HR management. Okay. Oh, okay. Can everyone hear me? As Lucas said, she can barely hear. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay. I guess it's your network, yes. Okay, so now we have the vision of why our business exists. The next is, what's the plan that we have for our business? Plan for our business. Plan structure for our business. So you must have clearly defined structure. Even if you have 2 employees, that structure would include reporting line. Who do they report to? That structure will include, do they have clear job descriptions? Do they know what they are being paid for? Is it documented? A lot of us, yes, I know we are smart business leaders, but we need to have job descriptions, even if it's 2 or 3 lines. That plan would include what's the objective, what's the performance objectives. We'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there. So you must have that system and process in place. They must have a vision for the business to grow. So they must have a plan for the business to grow. Oh, the business is challenging. Our business can only grow when we get more customers. And when we get more customers, right, the business can grow. When the business grow, of course, we can increase salaries and all those things, blah, blah, blah. But your business must have a plan. Your business plan, I know some people keep it confidential. What you need to keep confidential, please keep it confidential. What you need to keep confidential, keep it confidential. It's really important. In addition to that, when it comes to people plans, make your people plans grow. Yes. Yes, no, keep it confidential. You only show your people what they need to know, and it's based on their level. Okay, so that's important, but have a plan in place. When it comes to people, you must also have your strategy to grow your people. Your strategy might be, one, to grow people based on revenue or volume targets. It can be anything. Your strategy might be, okay, to use more of contract staff instead of full-time employees, but it has benefits, it has merits and demerits, that just what works for your business. But have a growth plan, have a people strategy. Your operating models to how you are structured. So what's the process? Who does what? Especially when it comes to your customers and clients. When it comes to production, what's the process that you have in place? Your operating model has to be clear. Okay? All of this drives your profitability as a business. The next layer is organizational design, which is where the core of HR comes in here. For those of you that have HR, you have the ability to hire HR people, it's fine. HR will do it for you. But as business leader, it's also important to look at what structure supports your growth strategy. Is it a lean structure where you have everybody reporting to the CEO, or you have everybody reporting to one operations manager or production manager, and then they also have reporting lines and subordinates? So you need to ensure that your organization, in terms of your people, is very clear. Organizational design. Who is the head of what? Head of marketing, head of finance, finance officer, procurement, who reports into who manages who, what's the reporting line? All of those things, you have to have it, even if you have 2 staff. It's important. It's important because that is where, there's clear process, and for you, you're also able to put a structure in your business so you can focus on other areas of the business. So how you design your people structure, that's organizational design, is really important. There's a whole methodology to that, but because of time, I won't be able to take it. The next is talent planning and supply, which is people. Now I'm designing structure. I know what I want. I have my job description. Where do I find the right people? So that's where the core of HR management is. First is, what's your plan? The kind and the level of skills, competence, expertise that you're looking to hire. Yeah, okay. So what's the nature of the talent that you want? When you're recruiting, how do you interview? How do you assess them? Research has proven that the best form of interview is behavioral based interview, where you ask them questions around their behavior in the past. How did you do this in the past? How do you do that? What do you think? So you give them scenarios, real life scenarios to think through and answer. But by the time they are giving you their responses, you can give you an idea of the kind of people that they are. And we're in a world now that is even so difficult to find talent. So how are you building your talent pipeline? I mean, you're going to look for business, you look for people, you look, how many things do you want to look for? Everything can be overwhelming. I know there are some recruitment sites, right, that you can engage. I don't know, depending on the level of your budget and the kind of skill you're looking for. Sometimes we get people through referrals. People just refer people to you and tell you, okay, we need this person, we need that person. Sometimes it's random, sometimes you run advertisement and then people apply and you're having to source and recruit. It can be a whole lot of barrage of work. What you can do is engage an HR person, professional, or I don't know, there are tools where you can go find talent and reach out to people. But you must have a plan for your talent. And then when it comes to supply, is at the point where
Hi, Miss Lara, we cannot hear you again. I think she's having a network issue. Let's just hold on. I think facilitators. Okay, sorry about that. I think our pastor is having network issue. So just hold on a bit for her. So while we are waiting, please try as much as possible to submit the indebtedness document between today and tomorrow. If you are using Zenith Bank, I don't know about Zenith Bank. I think they are having too much protocol. You can check another bank. And when you want to submit it, you can just send me a DM and I'll send you the link for you to submit it. Yes, you can submit your account statement in replacement for the indebtedness form if you couldn't get it. Okay. So I said if you have not submitted the indebtedness document or account statement, please ensure you submit it between today and tomorrow. And if you are using, okay, yes, you can submit the letter of good standing. That's fine. That's okay. If you're using Zenith Bank, I think you should try another bank because Zenith Bank have too much protocols. Also, can you use statement from the context? Oh God. I'm seeing questions in the chat box. Yes, you can submit for 1 year. So if your business is less than a year, you can submit from probably when you started. But if your business is over a year, you can submit, yes, for like a year or 2 years. That's fine. You can also submit the audited account form. That's okay. Aisha said, can we also use statements from digital banks or fintechs if it is registered with your business name? Fine. If you are registered, if you are using one of these fintechs and you are using your business name on that account, that's fine. You can also submit that. Any other question, please? Oh, sorry. If you want to speak, please kindly raise your hand and I will ask you to unmute. Your bank said, okay, Ellen, you cannot submit it by hand. It has to be submitted through that form. If you opened your account this year, yes, you can submit it. It's fine. Go ahead, Aisha. Okay. Blessing, Eka name.
Yes, so I think I don't know. I'm sure this is Adebola speaking. I don't know, but I sent you a
Yes.
chat that I couldn't upload because it said the limit was 10 megabytes. You said you would extend it, so I'm
Yes, I will
waiting.
do that after this session, please.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, our pastor says she will join us soon. That it's a network that throughout. If you want to ask questions, you can also raise your hand and I would ask you to unmute. Someone said the account of accounts and Adedeji Bukola, you said you submitted the account statement for July or it's ended in July. Please, which one?
Okay, good afternoon. So my own question is this: I have two banks. I have Zenith Bank and then another a fintech bank. However, I opened the fintech bank this year, but Zenith Bank is since last year. But obviously, I can't get the Zenith Bank as soon as possible. So can I just use the fintech bank?
Yes, Aishat, you can use the
Okay.
fintech bank.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Adedeji Bukola, you can submit it since it ended in July. Yes, that's fine. Aminat said, can we submit digital account statement from January to August? Yes, you can submit from January to August. I think our facilitator is back and we'll continue with the questions later. Hi, Miss Lara. Miss Lara, you can speak now.
Ah, finally, ẹ ṣé o. Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. Everything just went off at once. Let me just quickly jump back. Have about 30 more minutes. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, so let me just. All right. Sincere apologies, everyone, once again. everything just went off. My entire system just went off. Apologies for that. So very quickly, let's just get back to it. But so far, what's been your key takeaway? Anyone? What's been your key takeaway? Key takeaway so far? Just to ensure we're engaging. Oh, thank you, Katie. I miss you too. Thank you. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so what's been your key takeaway so far? People matters. It's really, really important. Those have been your key takeaways so far before I proceed. Thank you. Yes, so Betsy, thank you. Okay, what's been your key takeaway? Oh, miss you too. We are here. People remain the most assets of your organization. Thank you, Fedayo, for that. Yes, have a plan and structure in place for people for your business. Thank you. Kende, your team are the most important and always communicate your business vision with them. Fantastic. Okay. I'm happy that we're all grasping in the session. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So when you hire people in your organization, watch out for people with potentials for leaders. Potentials for leaders and successors for their role. Two things, when people join your organization, always be on the lookout for people with potential. That's number one. Two, when you are hiring people, you are structuring people, ensure that people people have roles that other people can take on. So that way, when somebody leaves, you're not at the mercy of one person. Ensure you expand their role, ensure that there's visibility, they can do one another's job. So that when somebody leaves, there's a succession in place, there's a succession plan. There's plan that if your production manager leaves today, there's a supervisor or there's someone lower than him that should be understudying that production manager's work. That's really important. So that when somebody leaves, you're not at the mercy of a key man risk. Ensure that they share their roles, they're aware of one another's job, even though their jobs are different, but they are aware of one another's job. And that way you can provide succession plan in place. Overall, it's important to motivate, engage, and discipline. Motivate with one, ensuring that the work environment is as conducive as possible. And for us to motivate our employees, we business leaders, let me appeal to us that there's a need for us to apply a lot of emotional intelligence when we work with people, because people can drive you nuts. And when you work with high dose of emotional intelligence, one, you are able to own your way of yourself. Two, you're also able to mind and guide your mental and emotional well-being. So you don't allow people to drive you to nuts. You don't allow people to get you. I mean, the business environment in Nigeria, due to the macroeconomic challenges, is tough. Women, it is tough. It is tough. And you don't need people to add to that toughness by their bad behaviors. So there's a need for us to please apply a whole lot of emotional intelligence when we are dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. Okay. There's a need. Okay, thanks. Aisha, swap roles every Saturday. Yes, so people can do one another's job. There's a need to engage by the way we communicate with our people. Engagement is important and communication is fundamental. So a lot of business owners, because of stress and tension, tend to communicate in a way that is not right to their employees. I know that feeling. I mean, you have one maid and that maid can make you scream. Imagine now having the version of your maid as people working with you. It can be very frustrating. It can be frustrating. What I want to say to us here is the need for us to manage the way we communicate. Communicate is important. Diplomacy is important. When people do things wrongly, don't talk down at them. Don't use demeaning words at them because you are their employer, because you are paying them. It will not give you results. Communicate in a way that would give you results, and that communication is through positive, constructive communication. Positive, constructive communication. When somebody is not, when you're having to repeat something over and over and over and over again, call that person and say, come, what do you need to do to always remember this thing? Get that person to own the problem and the situation. So a lot of us have not been able to, we have not been able to work to get, or we're not been able to retain employees so much because of the way we deal with them, because of the way we communicate with them. So it's time for us as business owners, let's look in the mirror ourselves, right? And ask ourselves, how am I relating with my employees that I need to change for the better? The change we seek in people starts with us as business owners and as business leaders. How do you communicate with them? How can you change that process? How can you change that approach of communication? There's a lot, and that will drive engagement. It's not all about money. Yes, people want money. Everybody wants more money. Even you, the business owner, you're looking for more money for your business. But beyond the money, what is fundamental is the engagement, the emotional connection that people make. And when you are good and kind to people, you are sowing a seed in their hearts. Yes, they might not always treat you right, they might cheat you, but when business owners and business leaders sow a seed of goodness and kindness in the heart of employees, yes, they will steal from you. Trust me, you are sowing a seed that will speak to their conscience. Definitely you are. This discipline is important, and discipline is where we must have policies in our organization. Do you have policies for lateness? Do you have policies for attendance? Do you have policy in place for work ethics? Do you have policy for communication? Do you have policy for engagement between staffs and engagement even with customers or your clients? You need to put policies in place and let all your employees be aware of the policies. That is what will shape the right behavior within the organization. So that we are not correcting. When there are policies in place for your business, it guides what is acceptable, what is not acceptable within your business, and how you want things to be done within your business. So it's really important that we have policies that also addresses disciplinary issues. Issues around lateness, issues around stealing, issues around misconduct, fighting, shouting. You need to have policies. It's critical. That's what will take the headache off you. What does the policy say? Once you steal, this is the sanction. So that all the fact that you're having to talk and be chasing people, talk. You're not talking and chasing anybody. This is the policy. We apply the policy and they all sign. They sign that they've read and understood the policy. That way, that will save you a whole lot of headache. So I'll pause right now and get any comments or thoughts so far around this process. Comments or thoughts so far? Okay.
If you would like to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll ask you to unmute. Okay, Abibat.
Okay.
Yes, Abibat.
Please go ahead.
All right, so thank you, Mrs. Lara, the Coach Lara, for that wonderful insights you've been giving us. And I would like to, I don't know, because actually the last part you mentioned now, you talked about struck me. It's something that is very sensitive when it comes to dealing with people, managing people in the organization, most especially for a leader of organization. You have to like put some caution, just like you said, policies and put some cautions in place for people to follow. So now my thought is that in the aspect or in the course of you trying to stabilize your policies in an organization, and you have some people that that there are different kind of people we have. You have some people that willingly they will accept, they will abide by the rules and regulations set aside, and you also have some people that that they could be, you know, they would they would be heedless. They would like, okay, they won't follow it. So you have that kind of people that they will not want to follow that policies you have set. So how can one deal with them? And maybe provincial, you have called them one on one, you have addressed it with them, you talk to them and politely. So and after that, you still see that they still continued with such acts. So how can one deal with such people? How can
Yeah.
one manage them such that it won't like lead to disrespect or
Yeah.
misconduct in the organization?
Yeah. Great question. Great question. And that's honest truth. It's one of the critical challenge that we face. Someone, like I mentioned earlier, you must put a policy that speaks or addresses issues around misconduct or breach of process. Misconduct or breach of process. A policy must address that, and that policy must be read and signed by everyone. Once they read it and sign, then they are bounded by it, right? They are bounded by it. Once they are bounded by it, you just say, this is what the policy states. Don't do this, don't do this. You've done it. This is the agreement. Then you apply the policy. That way you reduce the talk and interaction and applying emotions and somebody playing on your emotions. It cuts off all of those. Because honestly, we cannot lead the business based on emotions. If you're leading and building your business based on emotions, you see every day you feel like it. And days you don't even feel like getting up from the bed. But you still get up regardless. So the policies, sanction grades, disciplinary procedures helps you to manage all those doing things by emotions. Just put that in place and let it just do its job. Thank you.
Thank you for
Okay.
that, Ms. Lara. We have Moyo. Moyo, you can go ahead. Moyo Sola.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to add to what you just said. Like for me, for my business, I recently just started doing this consequences basically for actions that we don't want to see them do. So we've been complaining about lateness rather for like almost a year plus now. And then there's always one excuse or the other. Oh, please, I want to I didn't see bike on time, this one, that one, that one. But as soon as we put in policies, like if you come late, we're taking out 1,000 naira from your money. In fact, it was just like magic. Everybody started coming early on time.
Compliance.
I was surprised. I was like, because I didn't said it at some point. I've said it before, but I didn't implement it, and it just continued.
Consequence management.
So as soon
That's
as
it.
they collected their August salary and they realized that I wasn't complete, they asked me why. I said, "You've seen the policies, right? And we've all spoken about it." He said, "Yes." I said, "And that's why your money is not complete." This month, in fact, everybody started coming early. I was like, wow. So this is all I needed to do to just make this stop. Like, in fact, that stopped. They don't come late anymore. Even if they want to come late, they will call and beg. By 7 a.m., they're calling me, "Ma, please, I'm sorry. I'm taking permission. So then I will now be okay. I can allow you for today, but it won't be every time." So by the time I started putting policies in, and now they sign in when they come out, they sign out. If you don't sign, if your name is not in the register, your money is not complete. Like I've said it, and the rules it has been working for me. Yeah, so
Thank you for that, Miss Moyo. One, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lara, for this insightful session. I also just wanted to add to the feedback that you had given around creating policies. So as leaders, we also need to not deliver partial judgment. And I'd explain, sometimes you might unconsciously want to make an excuse for a staff because you think that, oh, this person has been exceptionally good. But once you've put the policy in place, it stands, they've signed it, follow through with it. There are times where people would want to be sentimental and give the excuse of, oh, but this is just my first time, I haven't done it before. If there's a policy that has been put in place, you breached it, you didn't give you didn't take permission ahead of time, you implement, so that other members of staff don't feel slighted that you have left this person out, or that you didn't pass the same judgment on this one person. And I think some of the things that have been shared in these sessions, if you have domestic staff, it also applies. And just like I think Moyo just spoke about, deducting salaries. There are times where you'd see that when you want them to sit up, when you take away that small 200 or 500 naira from their monthly pay, you see that they would sit up. Yeah, so thank you again.
Thank you, Wane.
Thank you, Wane.
Okay.
Aisha, sorry, please, one more person. Aisha, yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I want to share my own opinion about the issue of the correcting lateness. So in my own organization, I don't deduct money. So when you are late, you write a letter to explain the reason why you are late for the first time. And after repeating that for the second time, we set a panel to decide what we sometimes can be go on suspension, can ask to go back home and all that. Then we have another policy that encourages people coming early. So there was during the issue of this economy and all that, we were thinking of increasing salary. So instead of increasing salary generally, what we did was that if you are able to come early throughout the month for the whole 30 days, if you have no record of lateness, you get a package of transportation allowance, which is exactly as in about how close to like how much you spend on transport. So we give everyone that comes throughout the month as a no record of lateness a package, an incentive for coming early. And then with that, almost everyone works towards getting that allowance because they want to be part of it. So they avoid coming late for even once, because once you come late once, you miss it for that month. Then aside that, we have we share incentive generally every month. We give incentive on most hard work. They vote most hard work about themselves. They pick paper and vote who is most hardworking, and the person that get the highest votes get incentive for most hardworking. They give incentive for people who get customer details. They give incentive for the high, because we have two different stores, so they compete on sales. So the stores that has the highest sales gets the sales incentive. We give incentive for the best dress. We check out for the best dress monthly, and all those things has been working well for us. Thank you.
Wow. You see, you've incentivized good behavior, and that has also gone up. Fantastic. That's amazing. Amazing. And honestly, that's what motivates employees. As you punish bad behavior, you reward good behavior, and that would increase their desires to also do well. So incentivization is also a very good one. Thank you, Aisha, for that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aisha. Yes, Ms. Shion, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. I've been listening to everyone's contributions, and they are really, really fantastic. And thank you so much to our facilitator, Lara. It's been really informative. I want to agree with the last speaker. We do something similar to what she does. Personally, because my experience as an employee, carrying it to being an employer, I didn't want my staff to feel the way I felt when they deduct
that's a good
money,
one.
because for me, it wasn't really productive. So once I know how much they will remove, maybe it's just 500 or 1,000, no problem, I'll pay it. It wasn't something that worked for me when I was an employee. So what we do in my business is we provide breakfast. So if you come in 15 minutes before 8, our official resumption is 8, you get free breakfast on the house.
Yeah.
And so Nobody comes late. Nobody comes late. And it's very, very simple. We have a bakery in the neighborhood, and we have sachets of this 3-in-1 Cadbury, as simple. And you can just get hot water from the dispenser. And so nobody comes late. Like it doesn't even exist in my company.
Wow.
And then one thing I also wanted to mention is when we did our policies around 5 years ago or so, one of the things that we did was to first of all do an audit. The person that did it spoke to everyone in the office, to understand their satisfaction with their jobs, their roles, their duties, and what they wanted from the company. And so from that audit, the feedback we got was what we used to do the policy. And when we did the policies, it wasn't just management. It wasn't a top-down thing. It was something that we did with everybody, from casual staffs to full-time staffs. It was, across board. And so I just wanted to chip that in because sometimes I think that when they're involved in the decision making, especially the policies, they own it better than when it comes from the top down. Thank you.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Thank
That's
you.
sweet.
Yes.
So yes, we have
Thank you.
Ellen. Yes, Ellen, you can go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma, for the training. It's really impactful and very educative. Well, on my own part, I've been able to use motivation just like other people have done to make my staff to work better. Although I don't have much staff and they are on the outside, I leverage on the designers. So, but for them to work well for me and to do what I want them to do for me, I give them motivation. Most times when I go and check on them and see the designing they are making, I'm always with, it could be biscuit, it could be sweet, it could be chewing gum, or sometimes I get there, I say they should get mineral for every one of them. So it's like when they see me, they know that, mommy is going to drop something for us. So when I give them a deadline that this is when I want this design and this is what I want, I tell you, they don't miss it. They all struggle to make sure that they meet my deadline. So what I know is that as business people, we should not be stingy. We should be generous. We should be kind. It is not the money we are going to spend on them that we say we will not get to where we are going. Rather, when we motivate them, we are generous towards them. They will even help us to make more money. And that is what I have discovered. So, and I think if we go that way, it is going to be of help to motivate them to do what we want them to do.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Helen, for that. Because of our time, we can take only one more, but we have just
Okay.
about 10-15 minutes left for the session.
Okay, we'll take Miss Azuka, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so in my own case, I actually just realized that this session is really for me because I've been struggling with my staff policies and all. I don't know why I have a staff policy in place, but very strangely, I haven't implemented it. But I want to ask so that I can make, with this session now, I want to make adjustments. Okay, things like late coming, I don't really have that issue with them. Because number one, the staff, they live in the area, so most of them are like within, maybe not walking distance, but maybe just one keke brings them. Then we have lunch for them because they resume quite early. They resume between 7:30 and 7:45. So there's a meal provided. So that one is there. But what I want to know how to handle is how to handle sincere mistakes. What do I do? Okay, like yesterday now, we started supplying the Dew Center on the island with our energy bars, and the CEO herself sends me a video, and inside one of the energy bars, there's a screw inside. Like, I was mortified. I didn't know what to do. I was so ashamed, and I know that this is a sincere mistake. I know it doesn't happen. In fact, as soon as I saw it, I knew instantly how it entered. And when I sent it to my production manager, even
Fantastic.
she immediately, she said, she exactly what I had in mind was exactly what she said, that most likely when they brought out the machine to stamp the expiry date machine, that one of the screws rolled off into the sesame seed that we had spread on the table. And then when they were packing it up, they didn't realize. And then it was exactly what came to mind, because our processes are so tight that it is very easy when there's a mistake. I did it in a way that when there's a mistake, when there's a problem somewhere, I can almost tell with accuracy how it happened and why it happened. So, but how do you handle sincere mistakes? Because now
Good
I'm
question.
thinking now that I'm going to, after this class, I'm definitely putting, because my policy, what I was saying earlier, I think you missed part of my message, was that we had a deadline for 9 a.m. tomorrow for products to leave the factory. And they were tired on Friday. So because they were tired and the manager wasn't going to come in, the other staff decided that they didn't want to work on Saturday, because we don't really work weekends. But when we have deadlines, we have to. And imagine that they didn't come in on Saturday. And then yesterday, the products I left the mainland like 12:38 to go to the island. You can imagine, we're supposed to leave by 9 a.m., but I ended up leaving by 12:38. So I know that staff policy has to come in, so that when they have weekly deadlines, they meet their weekly deadlines regardless. Sorry, I know I said a lot.
Thank you. Well, we learned as well. Thank you so much. I mean, in responding to your first question, I was going to ask if we have a process manual in place, or process
Yes, we
SOP
do.
in place.
We do. We have
So,
SOPs. Yes.
Fantastic. Good. Sincere mistake. If somebody makes a mistake the first time, it's sincere mistake. Second time, would you take, if there's a repeated mistake, third and fourth, a sincere mistake?
No. But I know that you see that mistake of it cannot happen again. Like a screw. Yeah. In fact, I even shouldn't even say any here.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point. You're right. No one is perfect. No human being is perfect. When there's a mistake, there's what we call RCA, root cause analysis.
Okay.
To investigate where the mistake came from, which you are aware of. Next is to now put a process in place to mitigate a reoccurrence of that mistake. So when there's a first mistake is fine, but there has to be a lesson learned from that mistake that everybody must take a lesson from. So there's no longer a reoccurrence of that mistake. If it repeats itself, second or third, then at that point you can reprimand or apply your consequence management.
Okay.
Because honestly, between you and I, sometimes mistakes are good learning opportunities for us business owners.
Yeah.
When there's a mistake, you know what not to do the next time. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes. So it's okay to allow first mistakes to go. Take it as a lesson. Do your RCA, root cause analysis. Let everyone learn from it and ensure there's no reoccurrence. When there's a reoccurrence to that mistake multiple times, at that point you put your consequence management in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Second, so I was trying to get the second question, right? Asuka.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. So the second question with regards to your people, sometimes you need to look at the shift pattern. You need policies that also speaks to based on the nature of your work, where it gives allowance, it gives allowance for people to rest or catch some time off and the likes. But I would encourage everyone on the call to look at what is applicable within your own business and then put policies that are not too stringent, or rather policies that will enhance work and productivity. So you need to design a policy that suits, and policies are not cast in stone. You can always review, you can change, you can update, you can discard, So just ensure that your policies are alive. I would just like to encourage everyone that make your policies alive. Don't make them just one document sitting somewhere. Make them alive, because they are fundamental in driving your business, especially when it comes to human resource management.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, wow. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yes. So if you can take a snapshot of this, please take it. For your human resources, I call it human capital as well. There's a framework that has to be in place. Your governance, your policies, I've talked about that. Your policies must speak to, how you manage people, how you plan on your workforce, even your training and development, competences. We're in a world now where there's a whole lot of trainings people can take online. So I encourage your teams to take trainings online. It's almost at no cost for you, and get them to own their career. You must have policies around even the kind of people you bring into your organization. That's your talent acquisition. Okay. Your policy must speak to leadership management within your organization. Your policy must speak to succession management. To also speak to even career, how people grow within your organization, and then your performance management process. How do they learn and grow in your culture? What's the kind of culture? What are the acceptable behaviors that you have within your organization? Okay. And then how do you reward? I love the fact that we heard testimonies from people who reward good behavior and those who reward bad behavior. Total reward is not just salary. Your total reward encompasses salaries, what they get in cash, and what they get in benefits. That's total reward. That's why I didn't put compensation here or salary. What they get in cash and what they get in benefits. Benefits, all those perks, non-monetary benefits, health, HMO for those of us that have HMO for our businesses and the like. So all of those are total reward. You must have a policy, or must have a system and a structure in place. For those who also would like, it's also important to have your metrics. I mean, as you have your accounting books in order, you must also have your metrics, HR metrics. How many people have you hired this year? How many people have left? What's the number of queries that you have? Have your people metrics and track it as applicable to your business. So that way you're not just working based on we have policy, but what has that policy helped? How do you track your gross, how people have grown, how your headcount has grown, has reduced, your cost, people cost, all those things, have your metrics in place. So that also helps you to drive or take better people decision. Okay. Oh, how is profit margin calculated? There's a whole lot that goes into profit margin, because when you're looking at your revenue, you're looking at your operating costs. Okay, you're looking at your operating costs. There's a whole lot of drivers, that goes into calculating your profit margin. So I would encourage you to get a finance or an accountant to look at your financial books, and then they can help you walk through your profit margins. Okay, all right. So because of time, I will just touch very quickly performance management, which is fundamental. You cannot have people and be paying them salary and they don't know what they are supposed to do. Performance management is even not just job description. No. Performance management is your systemic process that you are put in place, right? Where every individual in your organization, they are very clear what their KPIs are. Their roles are well defined. Their KPIs are defined. They communicate it, you monitor it, and then give feedback. Performance management is the heart of any human resources management, because that's where you're aligning your assets, people, to the results that your business seeks. Why is it important? Like I mentioned, everybody's activities are aligned to the overall business goal, that business vision. There's a strategy and a goal he wants to achieve. So what are the various roles that people have that links up to that? Their goals must be smart, must be specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. Okay? Their goals must have meaningful, they must have those meaningful conversations with them. Okay? So performance management remains the core of our human resources management. That way, we are able to derive, I don't want to use the word derive, achieve productivity, performance from people. In understanding performance management cycle, there are 3 steps. The first step is to plan. What do you want to achieve? What's your KPI? What does your role seek to achieve? What's the plan? Set KPI. And it must start from you as the employer first. What are the expectations and the KPI or the objectives for their role? The line manager must know, and then they themselves must know and must have it documented. There must be a timeline through that process. Once when there's an agreement that, okay, these are your KPI, this is what you achieve, Shikina. What do they need to do to perform? How do you evaluate and assess that? There must also be a timeline for that. Okay, where the employees know that this is my KPI, I must achieve my KPI. And at the end of the performance cycle, there's an assessment process where people assess their performance, how well they're doing, how well they've done, and then you can now evaluate, okay, this year you've done well, next year you must proceed higher, or this year you have not done well enough, we need to look at you increasing your performance. That's really, really critical. In summary, I like to say that it's important to create an employee experience in the world of now that the new world of work that we're in, by creating environments where we put people at the core of it. I was happy when Sean mentioned that they conducted an audit, understood what the people want, and they designed their policies around it. That's how businesses create employee experience. When we engage with them, we design the policies with them, not for them. They own it more because there's inclusiveness. So companies will thrive now are companies who put people at the heart of their organization. Because of time, we won't be able to do this video. It's past the scheduled time already. But the review is just very, very simple. Turn me on my side and I'm everything. Cut me into half, I am nothing. And of course, that's the number 8. Number 8, when number 8 stands straight, right? It's everything is infinity. But when we cut it, it goes into 0. And that talks about peak team. We are only as strong as the weakest of our people, of our team members. Every part of our team members are important. For those who are weak and are not aligning with the vision and expectation of our roles, we can review performance with them, or then we can ask them to go. It's not everybody that is designed to work for your organization. People who don't align with the vision and the expectation, please let them go somewhere else. Stop keeping a bad employee within your business. It's way too risky. Because of time, we can't take the activity, but I just would like to let everyone know that I'll be running a master class for people managers and business owners for small and medium scale organization, one-man businesses in October. If you something you're interested in, I will drop a link just so that you can drop your details and then we can catch up afterwards. Okay, so on that note, thank you everyone. I'll take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll round off the class. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lara. We really appreciate you. That was a beautiful one. Thank you so much. Please, questions. If you have any question, kindly raise your hand and I will ask you to unmute.
I can't hear.
Questions, please. Okay, Azuka. Yes, Azuka, you can go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was clapping. I didn't raise my hand.
Okay, all right, no problem then.
Thank you for a wonderful session.
Thank you too. Okay, Ify, can you hear me?
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ify.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. Okay, so my question is, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for all your contributions. I really learned a lot. I have quite a very small staff strength. This was very insightful, especially on business. My question is, how do we actually, one of the challenges I'm having is not even just finding, it's not just maintaining the staff, it's actually finding people that are willing to work based on the expectations that we have. Because one of the issues that I found is when we interview, people apply, right? But by the time we do a video interview and we try to ask questions based on characteristics, because our work requires a lot of thought process, it's not just plug and play compared to maybe like a manufacturing industry or something. So we require people that can think. We find that a lot of young people don't have the ability to think, and then a lot of the older generation are stuck in their ways. How do I bypass this, or how do I recruit better?
Okay, sorry, that question wasn't quite clear. You found out a lot of people don't have what? Hello?
Hi, if we didn't get the question.
So they're saying the application.
Oh, so my question is, how do I recruit better, get the kind of quality of staff that I want? My business requires a lot of thought process, because I don't know if you remember from when you ask certain questions, we require independent workers. We hire people that work remotely. We don't hire come to the office. You're at home to do your deliverables in your own time that is convenient allotted to you. So one of the issues we are finding is the younger generation are not able to work because they cannot think for themselves. And then the older generation are stuck in their ways because they are used to conventional work systems where you report to an office. Yeah, so you report to an office, your supervisor is overlooking you. We don't work that way. So we're trying to figure out how to recruit better so that we get the kind of people that we want.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic question. Thanks. I think that's from Ify. So you're absolutely spot on as HR, as an HR professional. That's one of the major challenges we're having right now. One thing I would ask of you to do is, first and foremost, there's something called personas. Personas are the behavior and the demography and the construct of the people that you believe can work for your organization. I said earlier, not everyone can work for you. What's the persona of the kind of person you're looking out for? One, in terms of personality, who are they? Are there personality tests that also will help identify creativity in people? You need to bring out assessments, questions during your interview process where you can identify people that are creative. You can give them work scenario, you can give them questions around scenario. What would you do if you are within if you're in a certain space and you need to deliver blah blah blah? So look for assessments that would help you identify people who are strong in creativity, understand the persona of the people that would work best for your organization. Sometimes it could be people who have certain kind of background and experience. For instance, maybe people who do a lot of graphic designs, UI, UX, are people who are very creative. We are very, very creative. There might be people who read certain kind of course, so you just need to be able to find the right profile that would work for your organization, okay? In addition to that as well, in having the right profile, it's also important to identify such people is remote kind of work. Where are they? They're on Fiverr, are they on some job sites? What are the kind of environment that I can find them? Work with referrals. If there's any HR organization that can also help you to find those smart, young, extremely creative ones. They are not your kind of every young person you find, but they exist. But you need to know their profile. You need to know where to find them. You need to come up with an assessment where they can you can use the assessment to identify them. So when you're coming when they come for recruitment and assessment, you deploy the assessments, and people who range within certain scores, might have the kind of potentials that you're looking for in your kind of candidates. So there is a whole lot of work that you have to do, but I encourage you to work with HR professionals, because HR professionals, we understand the dynamics in terms of identifying the kind of talents that would work, that would be fit for purpose for your kind of organization. But they exist. You just need to do a bit more work in trying to find where they are, where the kind of personality or their profile, and of course, how to engage and work with them. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. I have a follow-up question based on what you just said now. So thank you so much for the tips, especially on because that was also something we have been considering, because we've not had very good luck finding staff, honestly. In fact, we have some people doing multiple roles because we can't find staff. So my follow-up question is, how do you, during the interview process, because I noticed a lot of brands talked about incentives, and I feel like based on the kind of work we do, incentives would be very helpful for people that work remotely. How do we mention the incentives up front, based on performance, or do we just keep that internal? How would you suggest for something like what I've just mentioned? How would that work?
Yeah, great question. So incentive is your internal process, okay? So how you apply or deploy is also based on what works best for your company. For some company, incentives are tied to performance. For some company, incentives are tied to good conduct and behavior. For some companies, incentives are tied to, for some, like we heard, just once you come in early, you get this as an incentive. So it depends on what works best for your organization. It's an internal process. At the point of conversation or discussion with a candidate, when they ask you, it can be part of what you would share to sell your organization. Because I tell people during recruitment process, even though you are hiring, you're looking for talent, they are also assessing you. So they're two-way streets. Recruitment is a two-way street. They are also assessing if your organization is best for them, whilst you are assessing if they are also good for your organization. So it depends on what works best for your organization.
Wow, thank you so much, Lara. We really appreciate that. Do we have any other question? If you have any other question, please, you can raise your hand and you'll be allowed to ask. So while we are waiting for question, please turn on your camera. Turn on your camera. Let's take pictures with our facilitator. Please turn on your cameras.
No, they put the date after.
Thank you. Please turn on your camera. You can also take screenshots because you'll be posting them on your social media pages, and I'll be sharing the pages you'll be tagging on our WhatsApp group. Thank you. Thank you. Please turn on your camera if you haven't.
Peter, let's go to the other. So
Please turn on your camera. And I have shared the attendance form in the chat box. Please ensure you fill that before you leave the session today. Ensure you fill the